Let's dive into a topic that gets debated endlessly: used cars versus brand new cars. On the surface, it seems simple. New cars have the latest tech and zero wear, while used cars are cheaper. But when you break it down financially, the reality is far more nuanced, especially in 2026. The decision isn't just about price. It's about depreciation, insurance, maintenance, financing, and even opportunity cost. If you want to make the smartest financial choice, you need to look at the numbers without emotion. Most people make decisions emotionally. They see a shiny new model in a dealership, sit in the leather seats, touch the latest touchscreen infotainment system, and feel status and excitement. That feeling is powerful. It's why car dealerships thrive on showrooms, test drives, and financing deals. But here's the brutal truth: the moment a brand new car leaves the lot, it loses value. Often, 20% to 30% in the first year alone. By year 3, the same car can depreciate by 40% or more, depending on the make, model, and market demand. Used cars, on the other hand, absorb this depreciation curve for you. If you buy a car that's 2-3 years old, the first massive hit has already happened, and your car's value will now depreciate at a slower, steadier rate. This is why savvy buyers often target 1-3-year-old models, modern tech, reasonable mileage, and far less financial hit. Now let's talk about financing and interest rates. In 2026, new car loans often come with attractive low rates from dealerships, sometimes even 0% for a short term. That seems tempting, but low-interest loans only make sense if the purchase price is justified. If the car is already overpriced due to being brand new, that low rate can still leave you underwater financially. Used car financing has slightly higher rates, but because the purchase price is lower, monthly payments often end up smaller. And smaller payments mean more flexibility in your budget. You can save, invest, or pay off debt faster. Insurance is another factor people overlook. New cars cost more to insure. The replacement value, repair costs, and advanced electronics all drive premiums higher. A used car with lower market value, even if older, can often save hundreds per year on insurance. That's money that stays in your pocket rather than going to premiums, which is especially important if you're building wealth or saving toward your first 100K. Maintenance and reliability are key considerations. Modern cars are incredibly reliable. Even used models from the last 5-7 years often require little beyond standard maintenance. Still, a brand new car may have fewer maintenance costs initially, but the difference is often outweighed by the depreciation you absorb immediately. With a used car, you may need to replace tires, brakes, or minor components sooner, but these costs are predictable and often cheaper than the value lost on a new car in the first few years. Here's a critical point many buyers miss: opportunity cost. Money tied up in a new car is money you're not investing or saving. Let's say you buy a $40,000 new vehicle and it loses 25% in value the first year. That's the $10,000 gone before you even drive it home. If you instead buy a $30,000 used vehicle that's 3 years old, you avoid that initial loss. The $10,000 difference could be invested, compounding over time. In a moderate 6% annual return, that $10,000 could grow significantly over 10-15 years, all because you avoided buying new. Then there's technology and features. Many buyers think you need the newest tech: adaptive cruise control, digital dashboards, EV options, but reality is used cars are catching up. In 2026, a 3-year-old car may already have most safety and comfort features that new cars offer. Even EVs or hybrids often retain solid batteries and warranties, making lightly used models financially smart without sacrificing performance or convenience. Speaking of EVs, depreciation is an interesting factor here. Electric vehicles tend to depreciate faster than gas cars in the first 2-3 years due to battery concerns and evolving tech. Buying a used EV often makes more financial sense, because early adopters absorb most of the initial depreciation risk. If you're careful to check battery health and warranty coverage, a used EV can offer years of reliable, low-cost driving while saving tens of thousands compared to a brand new one. Another consideration is market conditions. In 2026, global supply chains have stabilized post-pandemic disruptions, but car prices have still been elevated due to high demand and inflation. New cars remain expensive. Used cars, meanwhile, can offer bargains if you research and shop strategically. Certified pre-owned programs provide an ideal middle ground: cars that are still under warranty, inspected thoroughly, and priced well below new models. This reduces risk while maximizing value. Now let's talk psychology. There's a social perception of prestige attached to new cars. People equate new with success. But in reality, financial intelligence often outweighs social signaling. Wealthy individuals rarely buy brand new just for status. They buy what makes sense financially. They understand the brutal truth of depreciation and opportunity cost. They know a 50,000 new car that drops 50,000 in value the first year is often a worse deal than a 35,000 used car that retains 90% of its value over the same period. And here's a hard truth: new cars often come with hidden costs. Premium trims, optional packages, dealer add-ons, taxes, registration fees. These add thousands to the sticker price. Used cars rarely have these add-ons, meaning the effective savings can be even higher. When you calculate total cost of ownership, a used car frequently outperforms a new one, sometimes by a wide margin. Depreciation is only part of the picture. Total cost of ownership includes financing and interest, insurance premiums, maintenance and repairs, registration and taxes, fuel or charging costs, opportunity cost of tied-up capital. When you tally all of this, buying new often costs significantly more over the first 5 years. Used cars allow you to avoid the early depreciation spike, pay less in insurance, and invest the difference. But caution is necessary. Not all used cars are equal. Reliability, accident history, maintenance records, and mileage all matter. Buying from reputable dealerships, checking vehicle history reports, or opting for certified pre-owned vehicles can mitigate risk. In contrast, a poorly maintained used car can turn into a financial headache, erasing much of the advantage. So, what about the emotional factor? There's undeniable comfort and pride in owning a brand new car. Everything smells new, and you know exactly how it's been treated. That peace of mind has value. But if your goal is financial sense, emotion often costs more than logic. A new car can create instant gratification but long-term financial regret. In contrast, the used car route requires patience and research. You might have to shop around, wait for the right model, inspect carefully, and maybe negotiate harder. But these steps pay off. You not only save money up front, but you also reduce depreciation losses, insurance costs, and free up capital for other wealth-building activities. Let's also touch on longevity. Many modern vehicles, even used, easily exceed 250,000 km if maintained properly. This means a 3-5-year-old car can still provide a decade of reliable service at a fraction of the new car cost. Combine that with proper maintenance, and the financial logic becomes clear. You're buying years of dependable driving at a fraction of the new price. Finally, there's the flexibility factor. A used car allows more room to experiment. You can allocate savings to other priorities, investing in stocks, crypto, side hustles, or real estate. This is critical in wealth-building strategies. A new car locks up a large sum of capital that could otherwise generate returns, delaying your path from 0 to 100K or beyond. In conclusion, buying a brand new car in 2026 offers prestige, comfort, and cutting-edge features, but comes with instant depreciation, higher insurance, higher financing, and opportunity cost. Buying used, particularly 1-3-year-old vehicles, often makes more financial sense. You avoid the worst of depreciation, save on insurance, reduce risk, and retain flexibility with your money. If your priority is long-term wealth and financial logic, used cars win hands down, provided you research, inspect, and maintain properly. New cars appeal to emotion and status, but financial sense comes from patience, analysis, and leveraging opportunities. So next time you're tempted by the shiny showroom floor, remember this: the smartest drivers aren't those in the newest car, but those who make the numbers work in their favor. Because in the journey from 0 to 100K, or any wealth-building journey, every dollar counts. And avoiding unnecessary depreciation is one of the easiest ways to keep more money in your pocket.